The Ghostly Babysitter. The chill seeped deeper than just the autumn air biting at the edges of the Blackwood house. 10-year-old Danny shivered, pulling his threadbare blanket tighter around him. His younger sister, 8-year-old Lily, huddled beside him on the worn sofa, her eyes wide and reflecting the flickering light of the television. Their parents were out, a rare dinner date they'd been looking forward to for weeks. Mrs. Albright, their usual sitter, had fallen ill, leaving them in the care of a replacement, a woman who called herself Ms. Eleanor Crow. Ms. Crow was unsettling. Tall and gaunt, with skin the color of parchment and eyes like chips of obsidian, she barely spoke. Her smile, when it appeared, didn't reach those dark eyes, remaining a fixed, unsettling curve on her lips. She'd arrived just as dusk was settling, a shadow against the dying light, her long black coat billowing behind her like a shroud. "Now, children," she'd said, her voice a low, melodious rasp, "your parents instructed me to ensure you're both in bed by 9. No arguments, no dawdling. Understood?" Danny and Lily had nodded, too intimidated to do anything else. Now, hours later, the unease had blossomed into a full-blown fear. Ms. Crow sat in a high-backed armchair in the corner of the room, seemingly absorbed in the flickering flames of the fireplace, yet Danny felt her gaze on them, cold and heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't really looking at them, but through them. The grandfather clock in the hall chimed 8:30. Lily whimpered, burying her face in Danny's side. "I don't like her, Danny," she whispered. "She's creepy." Danny patted her head, trying to appear braver than he felt. "It's okay, Lily. She's just a bit different." But even as he said the words, he knew they weren't true. Ms. Crow was more than just different. She felt wrong. Suddenly, the television screen flickered violently, the cheerful cartoon replaced by static. The lights in the room dimmed, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and twist in the corners. Lily gasped, clutching Danny's arm. "Danny, what's happening?" He didn't know. He felt a prickling sensation on his skin, a sense of something unseen moving around them. The air grew heavy, thick with a chilling presence. He looked towards Ms. Crow. She was still sitting in the armchair, but her head was tilted at an unnatural angle, her obsidian eyes fixed on them with an intensity that made Danny's breath catch in his throat. Then slowly, deliberately, she smiled. It wasn't the unsettling curve from before. This smile was wide, revealing teeth that were too sharp, too pointed. A low chuckle escaped her lips, a sound that seemed to scrape against the silence. "It seems," she hissed, her voice no longer melodious but a grating rasp, "that your parents won't be returning tonight." Terror seized Danny. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that Ms. Crow wasn't just a babysitter. She was something else, something ancient and malevolent. He scrambled to his feet, pulling Lily with him. "Run!" he yelled, pushing her towards the hallway. They ran, their bare feet slapping against the wooden floor. Ms. Crow didn't follow immediately. Instead, her laughter echoed behind them, a chilling promise of pursuit. They reached the front door, fumbling with the lock. Danny's hands were shaking so badly he could barely turn the knob. "It's no use, children," Ms. Crow's voice echoed from the living room, closer now. "You can't escape." The door swung open, revealing the dark, wind-swept yard. They plunged out into the night, the cold air a welcome relief from the oppressive atmosphere inside the house. They ran towards the neighbor's house, their hearts pounding in their chests. They could hear Ms. Crow behind them, her footsteps strangely silent, yet somehow closer with every stride. They reached the neighbor's porch, banging frantically on the door. Mr. Henderson, a kindly old man with a bushy white beard, opened the door, his eyes widening in alarm at the sight of the two terrified children. "Danny, Lily, what's wrong?" Before they could answer, Ms. Crow appeared on the edge of the porch, her silhouette outlined against the dim light from the house. Her smile was gone, replaced by an expression of cold fury. "They're mine now," she hissed, her voice a low growl. Mr. Henderson, a man of quiet faith, didn't flinch. He stepped forward, placing himself between the children and Ms. Crow. He held up a small silver cross that hung from a chain around his neck. "Begone, foul spirit," he commanded, his voice surprisingly strong. The cross seemed to burn in the dim light, radiating a warmth that pushed back the chilling air. Ms. Crow recoiled, a hiss escaping her lips. The shadows around her flickered and danced, then began to recede. You can't stop me," she whispered, her voice weaker now. "I can, and I will," Mr. Henderson said, his voice unwavering. "Leave these children be. They are under my protection now." Ms. Crow let out a final chilling shriek, then vanished into the night, the shadows swirling around the empty space where she had stood. Danny and Lily clung to Mr. Henderson, their bodies trembling with relief. The chilling presence was gone, replaced by the comforting warmth of human kindness. They were safe, for now, but Danny knew, deep down, that Ms. Crow wouldn't be gone forever. She was a creature of shadow and darkness, and she would be back. He just hoped next time they would be ready. He had seen the fear in Mr. Henderson's eyes, a fear that mirrored his own. He knew, with a chilling certainty, that the fight against the ghostly babysitter had just begun. They had survived this encounter, but the darkness, he feared, would linger, a constant reminder of the night they faced the chilling presence of Ms. Eleanor Crow. The night the babysitter came back from the grave.